A couple years ago, I made a tutorial about the masks we wear in our workshops to protect ourselves from dangerous things we might otherwise breathe in, like wood dust and even chemical finishes. It was a pretty detailed tutorial, and I encourage you to go back and watch it because you're going to learn a lot. I'll link to it and to the masks that I like below this video. Now that was December of 2019. You could tell from the video because I was still wearing the splint on my finger from my shop injury. And I remember thinking, I cannot wait until 2019 is over. Well, we all know what happened shortly after that. 2020 came, and suddenly masks became a huge issue. And even now, everyone seems to have an opinion. They are eager to share and debate and sometimes force on you, whether it's based upon sound reasoning or not. This has so muddied the conversation outside the shop that many people are now confused about what to wear inside their workshop for dust protection. So in this video, I'm going to clarify some basic points and hopefully clear up some of the confusion that has crept into the subject. I'm going to focus on masks use inside the workshop, not out at the grocery store, because I'm a woodworker, not a doctor. I teach woodworking. So let's start with what we as woodworkers should be concerned with in our workshops. Then I'm going to tell you what will work, what won't work, and most importantly, I'm going to give you the why behind what I have to say. Airborne sawdust particles can come in many sizes, but our bodies themselves do a decent job of dealing with particles that are larger than 10 microns. Much of that is expelled from our bodies through mucus. A micron is 1/1000th of a millimeter. So 10 microns would be 1/100th of a millimeter, or slightly larger than a red blood cell. That's far smaller than what we can see with our naked eye. And yet that is the level at which dust can become particularly dangerous should we inhale enough of it, because it can get past our body's defenses and deep within our lungs. But if you're using a dust collector or a shop vac, do your tools then put out these small dust particles smaller than 10 microns? Well, look around your shop. How much dust do you see settled on the tools and surfaces around you? If that dust isn't right next to your saw or your bench where you were working, then it had to migrate through the air to get to those surfaces. To remain suspended for any length of time, a particle must be less than 5 microns in size, half of the level of what's harmful. That means the dust that's coating the walls on your shop is the dangerous stuff. And if it can coat surfaces across the shop, imagine what it does to your lungs as you stand right next to the source. I am not saying that breathing in a little bit of dust will kill you. I don't wear a mask if I'm making just 1 or 2 cuts on my table saw, but I do wear one if I'm going to expose myself to fine dust for any extended period of time, and that's what I think you should do too. So let's talk about mask filtration, because this is where people have become confused lately. This is a bandana. Cowboys used these to protect them from dust storms in the open plains 150 years ago, and they were reasonably effective, I guess, at blocking sand. But sand particles are about 62 microns in size, many times larger than harmful wood dust. How well cloth filters depends upon its weave, but no cotton cloth is going to stop a meaningful level of particles smaller than 10 microns. Is it better than nothing? In theory, maybe. But in actual practice, a poor mask will give you a false sense of confidence that you can expose yourself to all the dust you want. And then enough of it is going to go through the fabric to potentially cause harm. Of course, we aren't cowboys, are we? Who wears a bandana in the workshop? You'd be surprised. But what about these things that we see all over the place these days? You can pick these up for free when you walk into a Home Depot or a place like that. These used to be commonly called nuisance masks. In the medical profession, they're called procedure masks. If they're sealed and sterile, then they might be called surgical masks. They come in 3 levels of protection, and they're primarily meant to control the moisture that comes out of someone's mouth when breathing or talking, because those fine moisture droplets can contain bacteria and viruses that may be harmful to you if you're having a procedure done. These masks help keep that contained around the person wearing it. Some of these masks, though I can't speak to which ones, if it doesn't specifically say so on the box, then assume not. but some of them are also electrostatically charged. This means they draw fine particles out of the air and into the mask fibers, even if those particles are small enough to have passed between the fibers themselves. So think of it as a magnetic fishing net, where the minnows that could swim through the holes are instead attracted to and entangled in the mesh itself. This electrostatic charge, though, can only handle so much. In a workshop setting where there is a lot of dust in the air, the fibers will quickly become coated, and then the rest of the dust won't be charged to them. Instead, they'll go right through the mask. Another reason why these aren't very effective in workshop dust protection is because they just don't seal well on your face. Air will seek the path of least resistance. If it's easier to flow in through the sides or down around the nose, guess where it's going to go? While these types of masks may have some value for medical purposes when you are dealing with moisture droplets and small amounts of particles, don't think that means they'll be very effective in your woodworking shop. That was never considered to be true in the past, and 2020 did not change that. This, on the other hand, is an N95 mask. Our longer tutorial explains in detail what the NIOSH ratings like N95 mean, but basically, the letter refers to the mask's resistance to aerosol oils that may be used in manufacturing, not to oil-based woodworking finishes, which we'll talk about shortly. As woodworkers, we aren't usually concerned about the letter as much as we are the number that follows it. The 95 on this N95 mask indicates that in tests it was proven to be 95% efficient. These tests use small particles, smaller than about 1/3 of a micron. So this mask in the test captured 95% of those ultra-fine particles. This is the lowest NIOSH rating, N95. Other masks may have 99 or 100, indicating even greater levels of efficiency. But since any NIOSH rated mask is at least 95% efficient at capturing particles as tiny as 1/3 of a micron, then I'm not concerned what the rating is. I'm just mostly concerned that my mask does have a NIOSH rating, that the manufacturer went to the effort to have their masks tested, and that gives me confidence that they are going to filter the air properly. However, two things still concern me as a woodworker about this N95 mask. First, it's still not going to seal well on my face. It will certainly be better than the nuisance mask. For example, this one has a heavier duty metal strip. You can preload these by overbending them with your fingers, and then when you put them on, they will pinch against the bridge of your nose. But it's still going to leak around my face. When I wear it, I can actually feel the air coming out, especially on the top. And the fact that it fogs up my glasses is further proof that this is not sealing on my face. This mask is also very stuffy because there's no exhale valve. So wearing this for any length of time would be pretty awful, especially on a hot day. This, though, is a half mask respirator. This features the essential NIOSH rated cartridges, and it has a rubber-like face seal that, when properly fitted using its dual head straps, will cause this mask to seal well on my face and it will not leak. This mask may also be equipped with activated charcoal filter cartridges. That will protect you from your wood finishes. Regular NIOSH rated filters are no good for finishes. Even the ones that are rated P100, which is an indication that they are oil proof, but it's the VOCs in the finish that eat your brain cells, and only activated charcoal filters will remove those. So this is the type of mask I wear in my finishing room. But even though I can put particle filters on this, and then it will provide effective dust collection in my main workshop, I don't wear it for the main workshop. Why not? Because I find it uncomfortable. It's relatively heavy, and the two big filter cartridges just make it bulky and annoying. When this was all I had, I found myself going without a mask too often because I didn't want to put it on and wear it. That's what humans do. We avoid things we don't like, and I just never liked this mask. What I greatly prefer is one of these. This is called the Stealth, and this is the Stealth Light. The company that makes these is Trend, and they have been a sponsor for years, so if you want to factor that into what I'm going to say, it's up to you. But I think you'll see their benefits are obvious. They're a cross between the larger respirator and the lightweight cloth mask. Both have rubber face seals and they are fully adjustable with dual head straps, so they are not going to leak on your face. They both have downward facing exhaust valves, so they're not going to fog up your glasses and they're not going to be stuffy inside. And both have N100 replaceable filters. The Stealth's 2 filters are underneath the covers in the front, and the Stealth Lite is entirely replaceable except for the harness portion. I switched to the Stealth, I primarily wear this one, 3 years ago, I think. And ever since, my larger respirator has lived in my finishing room because I much prefer the lightweight and compact size of this one. So let's review. You do not have to wear a mask every second you're in the workshop, or even if you're just making 1 or 2 cuts, unless you have a wood allergy or other medical condition. But if you want to enjoy this craft for many years to come, you should use proper lung protection whenever you are exposing yourself to fine dust for more than just a minute or 2. Proper lung protection against fine dust means a NIOSH-rated mask that seals fully on your face. Any of the NIOSH ratings from N95 all the way up to P100 will serve you well. But a simple cloth or synthetic mask like this is not nearly as effective as one with a rubber-like face seal and a dual head strap. This respirator is good for wood finishing, and if you use a particle filter on it, you can use it in the regular workshop for dust as well. But a more compact mask like this one may be more comfortable for extended use. And if it's comfortable, you're far more likely to wear it. So I hope this clears up both the subject and your lungs. I'll link to the masks I like below, and we'll see you next time.